Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and we have Hecarim in this video because Hecarim just keeps getting buffed. You know, as if that meta with Chem Tank wasn't obnoxious enough, and you know, we've all seen enough of this pony for the rest of our lives. Riot keep deciding to change it back, but fortunately, that change, back is just to get him in the meta, get him to be viable and strong-ish again. It isn't buffing the E. Fortunately, because they did that last year. They buffed the E, then they nerfed the E, then they buffed the E, and then they buffed the Ghost. It was a fiasco. However, in this video, we have the resurgence of Hecarim in a very, very impressive performance. This player, it's his new account in Korea, so it's probably a smurf, but 1k LP, 250 games, 63% win rate. The guy knows how to horse around. And runes on your screen, obviously, you would have seen. Standard Conqueror rune set, bit of Ravenous Hunter in there, as we do. And I'm going blind into this game because I scouted a few. He smites the Krugs there. I smited a few. I watched a few, I didn't smite a few. Just to see if I could get some kind of angle on the way they're playing it. And I looked at one of my favorite players in the world. Unfortunately, he is a Hecarim one-trick, but his jungling is just great. He has such a great read on the game, but he hasn't really been playing the game much in the last... Enough on this patch to get a good game through. So we're going with this one. He currently is a few hundred OP higher as well. And we'll see how he does. Bottom lane getting into the thick of things. And he's going for a red side clear. I've seen a lot of Hecarims actually, when they're on the red side, red side of the map, start on that blue buff and get a leash. This is so irritating when mid laners do this. Isn't it? It's so tilting. I love it. Please, if you play mid lane at all, if you play with mid laners, get them to do this at around that 2-minute mark if they can, 2:15-ish. Because even if you don't see the jungler, the fact that these are gone tells you everything you need to know. He goes to Wolves, hits the plant, looks like we're going to do a standard 6 camp here. He should stitch these together. We have the smite, we can drag it if we need to. Although ideally you don't really want to smite, but you kind of have to just to make sure you are full resources. Here goes Rumble. And I just wanted to, cut to before the gank, purely because the Rumble does a 5 camp into a gank. And this is exactly what the Diana did in the Jungle Roots video that I released on the main channel end of last week. Because now look at the gap here, But a good Hecarim will be done by 311, 310, he's done. So what he can do is he can ghost in. He's going to ghost in. The Rumble will get the gank off on the Gwen. Again, that champion is insanely strong, underrated just because of win rates. Same thing they did with Lilia. But he uses the Ghost, he gets the rotation in here, nice cleanup kill, and that's why Hecarim is so great. You can really, truly be everywhere with that Ghost and with the E. The Lee Sin connects Q, but it looks like the Lucian has rotated as well. We'll get the TP in from the set also, and now we can disappear. Goodbye. We should be able to get this crab, but the problem is you don't have Smite, and now you don't have E to knock it, so really he might even just have to give this up. And here's the thing, right? He's cutting you off from this. Rumble, most likely, is just going to take this. Because what the Rumble can do, and he's a pro player, I believe Edward Gaming's jungler, I think, in this game. If Hecarim floats around this too long, he will die. He can die to the Lucian if he makes misplay or a little bit of a greed play. That'll open up these 4-minute, 15-ish Krugs into the Raptor counter jungling. So Hecarim has to keep that in mind. And also the Rumble gets to secure this and potentially just fall back to tier 2 sequencing. So for Rumble, this is fine. However, as we can see, he's going down the mid lane. He can also go down this direction to flex into this, although I don't like it. I don't think he should do that, just purely because it's not worth the double crab. Sorry, it's worth the double crab, but it's not worth the loss of potential counter jungling and so on. So now they're basically, what are they doing? There's a ping going through. Look at the pings coming through from red team, and now we've got a ping on my way. So it looks like the Hecarim is basically saying, I don't know where Rumble exactly is going. I'm just going to go down to my Krugs. And if you want to carry games, that's so important to be able to do, because we see on the replay, we have the knowledge, right? We have the knowledge that he decided to go for this topside crab, which is why you can go mid. If Hecarim hangs around, you can rotate with the Lucian to secure it, and you can run across mid lane to get this as well, especially if the blue bottom lane isn't back in lane. Or you can also dive. So we don't have this knowledge as Hecarim, which is why I'm pointing it out. I would have expected the Rumble in most, maybe different regions, do the lower crab into potential other sorts of map control. But at this stage, he decides to go top crab and dive top lane. So the Hecarim didn't know this exactly, therefore falls back to the Krugs. Rumble is very clearly wants to get the set fed. And now this gives Hecarim a lot of flexibility. But because his Lee Sin's rotating to the top side, he can't actually afford to go down to the crab just yet. So he can kind of wait to see where Lucian shows. Because I'd be kind of concerned. I mean, he could go down to the crab. You see the pings coming through from the red team? Like, is Hecarim doing this? No. Now we ping it. So this is huge jungle tracking mind games going on right now. It's actually very, very interesting. I know I'm speed running through it. I'm sort of just throwing all the options at you, but hopefully you can see exactly what's going on. Now, he goes to hit that, right? Nautilus knows this. Thank you so much. Hecarim puts it to the top side, so where the Nautilus cannot exactly just sneak it away. And Hecarim's going to use his body to protect against any sort of nonsense that might show up. And now he's going to go back to base. But he sees Rumble go topside again, so he can easily go counter jungling. But you have to be very careful of the bottom lane here. So these sort of reactions and anticipations are huge when you play something like Hecarim, because can you fight early and rotate early? Yes, right? But you can also farm and scale now, and you don't have that raw innate power that he used to, where you just run over people. He's not even going for the Grump here, which I think is actually kind of good, because we see here, 2 top, and this plant was hit, which means Lucian is there as well. The Gwen is just Dyrus TSM Season 5, you know, doesn't get to play the game whatsoever. So what Hecarim does is, takes the wolves, right, goes back to base, and now he can cut off and protect his section of the jungle. Because this is what you want to do to avoid vertical jungling. Oh, hello there, Rumble, with the Sork Boots, who's 3-1 and 0. Shadow, you lose your Grump, you don't know where the Lucian is, again. He's walking back. We don't know this, though. This is really good. I like this game. A lot of back and forth. Rumble's making a concerted effort to gank top lane and to cut that away from the Hecarim. The Hecarim didn't know about the crab location, so had to farm his camps before, you know, falling into a counter jungling sequence. Nautilus rotated. And of course, it looks like the red team's bottom lane actually took the Grump. Right. Sequence down, whatever you can. Grump is dead. Long live Grump. We can assume here that the Rumble might resequence. You know, go down to his blue, and then use his ult on the bottom side. There we go. So Lee Sin cuts it off with Hecarim, uses Great Pathing, control warded, ult is used, and you die. No flash, but the burn damage, there we go. Healing coming through, bottom lane does a great job. Hecarim uses his ult on the Kai'Sa. This is really great jungling from both sides. It's way more interesting. But honestly, the Hecarim played it perfectly. He did everything he could do given what the Rumble was doing. He respected lane prio. He respected the enemy bottom lane rotations. And now he's 3-0-1. And the Rumble didn't even do the blue, by the way. You can see that. Rumble went straight to bottom lane, used the ult, and if you make that work quickly, all of a sudden, you can fall back to Dragon, you can fall back to your blue, your Wolves and Grump might respawn. Very close. When you steal those blues, you kind of hope, just like in the early sequence, that the enemy jungler goes to the opposite side for like maximum experience gain. But you never know if they're gonna just try and steal things away from you. So, Wolves and Grump were not up yet, so the Rumble didn't waste any time. He goes topside, but we don't have 100% confirmed from this. So Hecarim decides, you know what, if that is the situation, let's just go bottom lane again before they get level 6. And that's what's so big about this, right? We must get that level 6. Pressure on the bottom lane. By that I mean, Nautilus 6 is strong, Kai'Sa 6 is strong, Shen 6 is strong, Sat 6 is strong. Any champion that has a really powerful ultimate, try and gank them at least once before 6. But if you gank them, right, and have a great counter gank here, and you decide then to, instead of max the Rumble going up, repeat gank it. Get your bottom lane a bit more ahead and deny that 6 power spike a little longer. Yes, you will lose the Herald most likely. Boom. On cue, lost. But it does give you prio over the Dragon and counter jungling. Now, Lee Sin's doing honest work. Thank you so much. Let me see where the Rumble goes next. This is huge. So, most of your games won't have this. There's a lot going on here. Honestly, we could unpack this game for an hour. This could be a real coaching session game just to talk about all the good things we're seeing and all the good decisions both junglers are making, as well as laners. It's a really nice game. But Lee Sin, see, Lucian's rotating as well. So you can't say, well, I don't have a rotating laner, and they do. Lee Sin dies. He just rotates immediately here. Ult is up again. Rumble has no flash now, which means you can just chase him down and keep Q spamming. Right? Rumble damage, though. The champion, you know, it's only really great on high elo because people don't manage their energy well and they don't hit ults, and the comps that people draft are really bad in solo queue to synergize. But in pro play, you're seeing how strong it can still be. Here, in and out is very important. This is a full Korean rotation. Woo! Edge of the W box. Conquer stack, wait for the E, and very nice. 7-0-1, ladies and gentlemen. 7-0-1. And he did it all within the flow of the game. He took what was offered, and that's it. And that's what happens when you read the map and respect the map and play around what laners do, not what they should be doing. You know, in the 5 Bad Habits, or was it 4 Bad Habits, video I released on Thursday, most people will go for this invade and just die. They wouldn't pay attention to the Lee Sin. The mid laner isn't rotating with them and doesn't have prio. Their top laner doesn't rotate. They just walk in and they die, you know? And it's, you have to play by what the laners are actually doing. And you can see here, right? 043 Gwen got turbo camped. Absolutely annihilated. You have the Lee Sin who's just been rotating, but again, it's range versus melee. So he's not going to have the best time in the mid lane. And Lucian will have prio. You know, that's why it's picked. Rumble is just a supremely S+ jungler in this elo range as well. And bottom lane is a direct impact on what you have done as a jungler. You made this bottom lane. And that's why when you say bot gaps sometimes, you have to question what the jungler's doing. This is great as well, by the way. While I was talking, we didn't assess what the Hecarim was doing, but here we go. He basically says, all this fighting and fisting is going on down here. Rumble must look to abuse top lane again. I'm just going to counter him. And this is beautiful. So I actually clicked the camera there. We can watch it again. I don't want to deny you any Hecarim stonks. So finish off. 9 seconds on that E. We have ult though. We can red smite. We don't hit it, but we force the E out of the Hecarim, the Lucian. And then you can just finish him off with the twirly whirlies. You do have another E charge. Triple kill, and you accept your fate. We call this the 1v9 death. Because you give them the gold because you feel like they deserve it because you're destroying them so much. This is a really great game from the Hecarim, and Rumble did a great job. But when you, and I guess that's why the guy is a 63% win rate with Hecarim in Korean Challenger. that Herald there is forced. And I think, you know, when you talk about this rotation top lane, you saw he was kind of going to his bottom lane camps. You can assume that the Rumble would go topside there to use the Herald for top plates. You know, he's very much chosen to camp the top lane. So that counter gank was really great. And then he got a double from it, and then the triple. Bot lane have taken that tower as well. So that's 5 plates bot, 5 plates mid, 1 plate top lane. That's 11 tower platings because of the Hecarim. He goes bottom side now because the next objective will 100% be that dragon. We want to maintain control. And this is where junglers in the mid game lose their power. A lot of you get really fed at this stage. So here I'd be concerned if you had no visual confirm that the Rumble was here. We see the E come through, right? But you're so strong, you don't really care. Oh no, you ulted me, that's such a shame. Watch him die now. No, I don't think he does. What a shame. Oh no. Rumble ult. And this is when Hecarim is fed, look at that. You run by them, you dodge. Ooh. That was clean. And now here comes a Lucian. Hello, sir. Ah. If he killed him, I was going to make a My Little Pony joke, but apparently Lucian knows a way around that. This is a good rotation. This is fine. So you don't mind dying here. Or ideally, seeing as we had this beautiful item completed, you just simply run down this way and you escape. You can catch the wave. But the fact that the Lucian kills you and you took the attention of 3 people and 2 lives means that your stunner can just whack towers. They can just whack towers. And you know, this is the thing we talk about a lot. Shepherding your team, right? The decisions you make indirectly can influence where your teammates rotate to. And now the set is thinking, but didn't I get turbo camped? What, like in my favor? Why am I not just carrying this game? This is why. This is why. And honestly, the buffed Hecarim really allows you to do these things. The dragon is up. Everyone else is busy. Catch the wave. I see this. I don't see this enough in coaching. Guys, you can take waves, you know, especially waves that are in a bad position for dragon. You don't want that wave to be pushed against you when you want to go for dragon. You want it to be pushed a bit more up, just so you have that vision control and map control. We can solo this. He might be concerned about something coming down here, but these wards show him on the Grom, so he's not going to contest it. He can't contest it. He just cannot. Very fast-paced game. See? But Virkayu, my ADCs don't push mid lane no reason and die 3v1. That never happens in Challenger, and it always happens in my games. I understand it's not as frequent, right? I'm not belittling the complaint, but that's not, like, this isn't what's stopping you from climbing. You know, I just want to give you that reality check. Everything this Hecarim did was because he was disciplined. He was disciplined, and he used the strengths of his champion and his brain to make the right plays and reads. And if he had to give up a top crab and a bottom crab because there was a big question mark, he did it. And then the Tristana said, I die. Hold up a second. Is she trying to yeet the Raptors? Alright, so we have Ghost. Not up, actually. I thought Ghost was going to be up for a second. It's just a Karma ult. AoE stonks. Dive the back line here with Lee Sin. Perfect. We've done the flash from the Lucian. We need to wait for the E again before we chase down. Here we go. Gap closing. Knockback. Auto attack. And now we can Q spam. Use your W as liberally as you need to. Obviously that changed a little bit, didn't it? We'll talk about it after the fight. Flash from the... We'll probably die here, yeah. That's fine, your team can clean up, maybe. Maybe. Alright, so... 2 for 5, we take that. So yeah, I mean, the W did change a little bit. I actually said the wrong thing that I wanted to say to reread the tooltip. Sometimes these things can get very confusing when I'm trying to make videos on every champion, but over 4 seconds you do the damage, you heal for a portion of your damage dealt as well as allies, so it makes healing really nice. And I actually said kind of the inverse thing, just, you know, sometimes your brain's tired. Here they're trying to collapse onto the Lee Sin. He's going to try and go ham here. Good night, Kaiser. TB comes from the Gwen. Hecarim rotates in. We did have Ghost that time, I believe. Be there for your team, please. This should be an easy objective. Definitely translate this to an objective. See, the game isn't over here. Now, what Hecarim excels at, and what he's currently good at still, but it's a little bit of a different play style, is that scaling with items just feels so much better now. At least from the outside. You know, it's a champion that I sort of spam or play myself too much, but when I'm on a team with a Hecarim, I've definitely noticed, and against one, I'm so glad I'm not just getting steamrolled at 1,000 miles an hour, and he's unkillable. I feel like I can actually CC and kill him. Here comes a TP, but also once he gets a Divine Sunder completed, the Sterex, he gets into that Death Dance and things like that, the carry potential in scaling is so nice. So set TPs, and like a good jungler, State Farm isn't there because we want to finish the objective, and now we can rotate once we finish the objective and clean up. And you can look at the kill participation. I mean, he kind of gives that one. We have ult. There's no real rush. Let our team have a bit of fun. Midwave will crash. We can actually probably go and... You could look to do something, but I don't think you want to take inhib just yet. I don't think we want to do that just yet. I think using a top lane is probably a little bit better. We can secure that tower, get another charge in this tower so you get more value on the tower smashing. Tristana might be able to secure, but I think everyone will be up. Kaiser, what are you doing? And why? I mean, it's the most... you know, at least he built damage to do that now. I think we can all agree that's healthy, right? We agree on this. Reset. Yep, you see, this is actually fine. I mean, you could have taken this, but if there's no wave, then there's no point. Here you have Tristana, so at the very least you get one tower, almost all of that, and it better positions your team for closeout macro. Lee Sin splitting the bot side, and here you've noticed that he's not really sequencing, and that's the meta right now, you know? And the first thing always with enemy junglers is suppress the enemy as best you can. If they're going to do something that makes them think they have tempo control like the Rumble did, you probably thought I have tempo control. The Hecarim just took what he could to make sure that he actually had the lead. You know, his counter jungling, the crab, the farming, and he rotated and spam ganked and counter ganked everywhere else. To the point that the Rumble's lead was completely nullified. You know, if he's going to camp top lane, I'll gank bottom lane. And when you try and swap the map as Rumble, I'm right there to punish you for it and then get all the dragons. It's perfect jungling. It stopped the Rumble from playing the game as the way he wanted to, rather. 13 to 10. This will be our third dragon. And again, look at this. 427, just tower hitting. 074 because of us. 3011, okay, so Karma did speed up a few things and shield a few things. Cheap assists, really. Gwen, you know, did a solid job not rage quitting the game. I mean, how many top laners do you know would just rage quit the game in this situation? Probably most of them. No, they're so weak-minded. That's where you want a weak side king, you know? Dive the backline here. The Lucian is significantly more of a threat than the Kai'Sa, but I don't feel like anyone's really an issue. Don't overchase the Lucian. This is something I talked about in coaching as well with someone recently. And even in a game where, like a top lane Mundo. Nicely done. Good team fighting. You know? Rumble, you thought the game was gonna go way differently than it did. I apologize to you, so that was not fun for you. But you see the Hecarim, he dives, and when he gets too far away, pull back to your team. Because there's no point chasing this as the most fed member, and then maybe your team messed up and they don't do something properly, and all of a sudden, you know, they're dead and you lose your advantages, so. I think that's about a wrap, though. Probably have a... We take all their stuff, standard stuff, please, always. Once you take an inhib early, especially, they're going to be getting supers. You're going back to base. There's a little bit of time for them to push out waves to get some camps. Most good players will try and use that time to just get whatever acorns they can. Remove those acorns. Or just crush them and throw them at them. You know, it's whatever you want to do. Just don't give them free farm during this downtime. Force them to have to push waves, because when they do... Oh, I was going to say when they do, you can just kill them and push, but they can also surrender. So, there you go. Divine Sunderer, Sterix Gauge against full AD comps with a minimal AP threat. You can go that Death Dance as well. And hopefully you can see the jungle tracking power, take what the map gives you, and also how strong Hecarim can be if you jungle with this, instead of just being a brute force maniac with a chem tank. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and comment if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and the main channel. New video on the main channel coming Monday. Enjoy your weekends, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.